6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Romesh Piris and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The Cabinet agrees to operate the Eastern Terminal 100% under the Ports Authority. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry investigating the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks hand over the final report to the President. Sri Lanka's COVID-19 recoveries surpass 58,000. Over 95,000 received the first dose of vaccine against COVID-19. A mangrove plantation program to commence today to celebrate World Wetlands Day. In international news, UN Security Council to discuss Myanmar coup. In sports, in cricket, India versus England, England squad to leave quarantine after negative COVID-19 tests. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the 100% retention of the Eastern Container Terminal of the Colombo Port by the Sri Lanka Ports Authority. According to Minister Rohit Abhegunawardena, the decision of the Cabinet was unanimous. Following a discussion held with the representatives of port trade unions, the Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa stated that a Cabinet paper was presented proposing the East Container Terminal to be operated entirely under the control of the SLPA. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry investigating the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks handed over the final investigative report to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa last morning. A member of the commission said several details that had not been revealed to the public pertaining to the Easter bombings have been revealed through the report. The commission gathered evidence for a period of 1 year and 3 months, while accounts of 450 witnesses have been included in the report. Another 468 COVID-19 cases have been detected in the country as of yesterday, raising the number of confirmed infections to 64,983. The Department of Government Information said 816 new cases were detected in Sri Lanka. The Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health said 6,585 persons are currently receiving treatment for coronavirus at 66 facilities across the country. COVID-19 recoveries in the country stands at 58,075. 839 suspect COVID-19 cases are also under medical observation at present. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. A total of 36,396 frontline health workers have been vaccinated with the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccination as of yesterday. Accordingly, the Ministry of Health stated that the total number of individuals who have received the first dose of the vaccine against the COVID-19 pandemic so far is at 95,550. Sri Lanka launched its inoculation drive on January 29th after receiving the Oxford AstraZeneca's Covishield vaccine donated by the Indian government. The State Ministry of National Security, Home Affairs and Disaster Management affirms that steps have been taken to launch a tree planting program covering all the Grama and Idadari divisions across the country in relation to the 73rd Independence Day celebrations, which is to be held on the 4th of February 2021. The State Ministry has advised the heads of the government institutions to utilize public places or private lands which have space and plant different kinds of trees while giving priority to Mi, Kohomba and Kumbuk plants. The State Ministry also requested to plant fruit plants or medicinal plants in home gardens. The Education Ministry says it has been recommended to reopen 589 schools out of 590 in the Gampaha district and 442 out of 446 schools in the Kalutara district on the 15th of February. Meanwhile, the decision to reopen schools in the Colombo district will be announced this week. Currently, schools in the Western Province, except for those in the isolated areas, were reopened for grade 11 students. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
In line with the World Wetlands Day today, under the theme Wetlands and Water, a program to replant mangrove in the ravaged Anavilundava Sanctuary within the Ramsar wetlands will commence today. The program will be carried out in collaboration with the Central Environment Authority and the Wildlife and Forest Ministry. The replantation program will be concentrated on land abandoned due to shrimp farming within the sanctuary. The program will get underway with the participation of Ministers C.B. Ratnayaka, Mahinda Amaravira, Vimalavira Disanayaka and Sanat Nishanta. Meanwhile, issuing a statement, the Minister of Environment, Mahinda Amaravira, stressed the importance of protecting the Ramsar wetland to maintain the eco and biodiversity within the sanctuary.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight, the Ministry of Education has decided to temporarily postpone the admission of students to all schools based on the results of the Grade 5 scholarship examination. The Secretary to the Ministry, Professor Kapila Pereira, said that enrolling students to Grade 6 classes based on the scholarship exam results has been postponed by 1 month.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In world news headlines, the UN Security Council to discuss Myanmar coup. Rising tension as Ethiopia and Sudan deadlocked on border dispute. Prince Harry wins significant damages in legal dispute with UK newspaper. The United Nations Security Council is set to hold an emergency meeting today to discuss a response to the military coup in Myanmar. The UN envoy for Britain, which holds the rotating presidency of the Council in February, Barbara Woodward, criticized Myanmar's military for detaining the country's de facto leader Aung San Suu Kyi and other political leaders. Diplomats at the Security Council say that the Council members will discuss the matter behind closed doors, as some member states, including China, have opposed open discussions. Age-old territorial claims are threatening to embroil Ethiopia and Sudan into armed conflict as bickering over disputed strips of farmland in recent weeks has boiled over into the most serious escalation of border tensions in years. Attempts to properly demarcate the border date back to a treaty signed in 1902 between then British-ruled Sudan and Ethiopia. But the ambiguity along certain border points left the issue unresolved, and demarcation has remained a sticking point between the two countries. The flashpoint of the recent bickering was a December 15th ambush reportedly carried out in the area by Ethiopian militia backed by Ethiopian soldiers. Prince Harry has settled a legal dispute with the Mail on Sunday, and the Mail Online accepting what his legal team called significant damages over an article alleging he had turned his back on the Royal Marines. A lawyer for the Duke of Sussex said in a statement to open court that the baseless, false and defamatory stories published constituted not only a personal attack on the Duke's character, but also wrongly brought into question his service to the country. The Duke has requested any damages received to go to the Invictus Games Foundation. The settlement amount was not made public. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. The UN Security Council to discuss Myanmar coup. Rising tension as Ethiopia and Sudan deadlocked on border dispute. Prince Harry wins significant damages in legal dispute with UK newspaper.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
And now in development news, on the request of Labour Minister Nimal Siripal de Silva, regional plantation companies submitted a revised wage proposal to remunerate workers up to ₹1,108 a day. The revised proposal was a result of a settlement negotiated with the assent of the minister. However, trade unions are still to agree. This resolution will ensure that workers will earn in excess of the ₹1,000 demand and will finally be rewarded for increased productivity. That was development news. And now in sports news. In cricket, India versus England. England squad to leave quarantine after negative COVID-19 tests. England's cricketers have been cleared to leave quarantine in India after the squad returned negative COVID-19 test results. The full group will now be able to train together for the first time since arriving from Sri Lanka on Wednesday. Ben Stokes, Jofra Archer and Rory Burns have already begun training, having arrived in India separately after missing the Sri Lanka series. The first test of the 4-match series begins in Chennai on Friday.
Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's largest and most iconic mixed development, Cinnamon Life, announced another major milestone in its journey to completion with the securing of a certificate of conformity for the project's office and the suite's residential towers. Notably, the pace and the progress of the Cinnamon Life project continue to gain momentum despite the challenges of the ongoing pandemic. Having now received full and final certification, the John Keel's Properties team is now actively preparing to hand over units at the offices at Cinnamon Life by March 2021.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of ₹1,000 from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news. Courtesy of
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The Board of Investment of Sri Lanka, Colombo Stock Exchange and the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce are set to organise a first-of-its-kind virtual investment forum to collectively promote direct and equity investment opportunities in Sri Lanka on the 6th, 7th and the 8th of April 2021. The event is expected to attract investment interest from around the world, including high-net-worth individuals and institutional investors. The event will discuss the macroeconomic landscape in Sri Lanka and will highlight all major projects and ventures open for direct investment, while also featuring the investment case for CSE-listed companies.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
When will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And now for the weather report. The Met Department forecasts several spells of showers in the northern, north-central, eastern and Uva provinces and in the Masale and Nuwara Eliya districts. Fairly heavy falls, about 50 millimeters, can be expected at some places in the Uva province and in the Polonnaruwa, Masale and Nuwara Eliya districts. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 50 kilometers per hour can be expected in the northern, north-central and eastern provinces and in the eastern slopes of the central hills. Showers, thundershows will occur at several places in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Galla and Matara districts in the afternoon. Fairly heavy falls, about 75 millimeters, can be expected at some places. Misty conditions can be expected in the western, central, Sabaragamu and southern provinces during the morning. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The Cabinet agrees to operate the Eastern Terminal 100% under the Ports Authority. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry investigating the 2019 Easter Sunday attacks hand over the final report to the President. Sri Lanka's COVID-19 recoveries surpass 58,000. Over 95,000 received the first dose of vaccine against COVID-19. A mangrove plantation program to commence today to celebrate World Wetlands Day. In international news, the UN Security Council to discuss Myanmar coup. In sports cricket, India versus England, England squad to leave quarantine after negative COVID-19 tests. That concludes this news broadcast, and now it's back to Sound the Savam on the other side.